Cito world. Everybody want to be spiritual till it's time to be spiritual. So y'all know what it is. It's your boy Kels. And today, you know what I'm saying, we're going to say RIP to the late great spirit Nipsey Hussle. So we want to give this guy some kudos, you know. He died at 33, you know what I'm saying, came here, completed his work like a G. That's a master number, 33, you know what I'm saying, and definitely was a sacrifice. Anytime you got somebody putting themselves in harm's way for the lives of others, that's a sacrifice, you know what I'm saying, regardless, you know, you putting your life on the line, you know what I'm saying, and that's commendable. However, we were kind of pushed into these circumstances, and we all know that by the means of white oppression and having to, you know, go to extremes. Now, we're not gonna blame the white person because they just someone that manipulated the scenes. All of this is God's plan, so it's always a bigger picture, you know, of this too. So we don't like to give that shit much credit, but we have to understand, you know, what we deal with so we can, you know, move forward. Now, I was introduced last year to this book called Mind Controls: How to Influence the Thoughts and Actions of Others Without Them Knowing. And the author is Dantalion Jones. That's Dantalion Jones. I was introduced to it by this lecturer named Brother Panic. And, you know, been kind of getting into it, dipping and diving here and there, especially when something moves me. And, you know, with this event in particular, just because of the conspiracy around it and, you know, what everybody was, you know, just diving deeply into, far as, you know, them, you know, it being a conspiracy because he was about to put out the Dr. CB documentary, or it being, you know, just was it somebody in his own set. Regardless, you know, this shit was a spiritual event, and I'm gonna break that down in my own way because the spirit always gives me messages for my soul group or my community, you know, Cito world, and so I gotta let them off for y'all. But it's also games that are being played too, you know what I'm saying, on that end. So, you know, it's multiple ways you can look at it, you know what I'm saying. That's why in the last video I did with us, I was explaining how, you know, Lupita, she was subconsciously aware of what's going on, and she was consciously aware of what's going on, because we're in the season of the trickster, which is the rabbit, which represents Easter. And it's a lot of new growth, and you know what I'm saying, this can be a growing period for you, or a resurrection period for your mind. And Nipsey actually tweeted, or not tweeted, he put up a picture of him and Lauren London, and it said Osiris and Isis. Now, anybody into Egyptian mythology knows that story. You know what I'm saying? Osiris died. He became the king of the underworld. Isis resurrected him. No, Osiris died. Isis resurrected him. They had a son, Horus, and he became the king. And Osiris became the king of the underworld, which is just nothing but controlling, you know, the realm of the spirit realm, of the afterlife, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, this is a very, very powerful awakening period for us, and for us to understand what this is spiritually and what it is, you know, with the game being played on us. Now, in the book, Mind Control 101, there's a seg in there, and the name of the seg is called Environmental Control. And what environmental control is basically, for example, it's a form of mind control. For example, say I'm a magician, and I say I'm about to do a trick. You know, I grab some nice cards, I'm shuffling them, and I say, you know, pick a card, any card. I give you the deck and tell you to pick a card out of there. Now, what that does to your subconscious mind is put you in the game. So if I tell you to pick a card, go through the deck, pick any card you want to, you're already suggesting to yourself that the game one is fair. You know what I'm saying? It's some type of trick being played, but you know these cards are legit. You know what I'm saying? If I tell you to look through them all, you know what I'm saying. So you're saying it's fair, and you're saying it's a chance that I might not be legit, or it's a chance that it's hope there, and that's what it is as of lately. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people like Brother Panic teach. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people have noticed that it's a war on hope. You know what I'm saying? A war on hope. So what America has done, and it has happened often enough for it to be seen as something being done behind the scenes, or a conspiracy. And I suggest you all get Brother Panic's book too. I think he talks about a cult in Hollywood, so get his book too. But they do the same thing to you as a black man, you know, or as a black person in general. They give you what you have and say you're free. You got equal opportunity as everybody else, and not really necessarily satisfying your needs, but satisfying your wants with giving people to you like Michael Jackson, you know, Malcolm X, R. Kelly, you know, Martin Luther King, you know, and Nipsey Hussle. Then we see the result of that, which is white oppression that tears that image completely down. You know what I'm saying? But they mind control you into thinking that, oh, you had the same cards, they got the same cards that we got. You know, they making the same choices that we got. They should have just chose better lives. And, you know, it's not for me to decide for you guys if that's right. You know what I'm saying? Or if that sits well with you. You know what I'm saying? I need you to think for yourself, because 9 times out of 10, you're not thinking for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You really thinking, you really don't even know what you're thinking. You're really under social pressure, and that's in the book as well, Mind Control 101. You're really being controlled by society and society's thoughts, and they're controlling what society thinks by means of media. So once they got control of your subconscious mind and your perception, which is pretty much subconscious, you aren't in control anymore. You know what I'm saying? You can't think for yourself. You only think of what's seen and what's shown. That's why they can do certain rituals, regardless or not. You know what I'm saying? They sent someone, you know, from his gang to come kill him. You only going to judge what you see. You know what I'm saying? Because you still only react off what society thinks. You know what I'm saying? That's why everybody is so sensitive now in judging, because societal pressure is the right thing to do. You know, and that's means of control. That's means of control, ultimately. So, RIP to the late, great Nip Hussle. Now, on the spiritual side of things, on the esoteric side of things, the day he died, you know, I told the spirits to show me where he was. And, you know, he felt that he had a duty. It was a conflict, because he felt that he had a duty to be there for his community and be there for his family, which is noble and always, you know, something that you want to do, you know. But as far as me, you know, I'm focused on my family and the people that I love and the people that, you know, I want to be there for. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, when you have that type of pressure and when you're a star, just look up how stars die. You just know, Google or YouTube how stars die, you'll see that under too much pressure or when they gain too much mass, and the hood is a very dense place because just the type of emotions you feel and type of pressure you under, that's a very dense realm of reality. You know, the emotions are heavy, the frequency is heavy, all that shit is heavy. It's very low vibrational. So if it's low vibrational, it definitely requires more mass. And when, you know, you got somebody like Nip who was transforming himself and transforming himself as a star, you know, your spirit is then moving out of the place and it can't occupy the same space, and which causes, you know, a certain conflict in the astral realms, and that can manifest as things like death, you know what I'm saying, or crashes or explosions, or, you know what I'm saying, either way it's a transformation, but it'll manifest in death in certain cases because just what you choose to surround yourself with. Now, I'm not saying he chose the wrong path. Everybody has their own individual path, you know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying that, you know, that was his work, you know what I'm saying. Now, as far as me in the conscious community, you know, in my Sito world, you know, we work a little different, you know what I'm saying. We understand that the cycle we've been in, you know, we understand that the laws of morality they put on us, we understand all these things. Now, I want everyone to, you know what I'm saying, when y'all get a chance, you know, when you're feeling up to it, go watch a interview by Dr. Walter William, and he has a book. Let me get the book right here, called The Historical Origins of Christianity. It's still in print, you know what I'm saying? If you like that, I couldn't find it on, I couldn't find an ebook. So I got this. Now, he talks about pretty much how the Greeks invaded Egypt, and what they did was change this figure and his son, who is Horus, and with this figure, the created creature, which is Jesus Christ. Now, the deeper question is, why would they do that? You know what I'm saying? Why would they invade Egypt, and why would they want to change, you know, these characters out? Well, he gets deeper into it, and he says that, you know, our spiritual nature, first of all, we never had a religion. Religion is something made up, and our nature was always a spiritual nature, and we were always connected to the cosmic forms in the universe, and we, you know what I'm saying, we got messages from within, so we didn't need laws, you know what I'm saying. Everybody was on one accord, everybody was in alignment, you know what I'm saying. Everybody, now I'm not saying that it was not niggas and shit, but at the end of the day, we had a certain walk that we didn't need religions or laws or whatever. So now what he says in his book is that they took to some councils. They had a couple councils, and he cites these councils in here and these were to make Jesus Christ this image accepted by all parts of Egypt and all civilizations after that. And so this is really just them seizing thing. Now, why would they do that? Is because it was really, they wanted to be revered as your ancestors were. And your ancestors were revered as gods. Your ancestors as gods. So when they became emperors and things like that, they wanted to be God. And really, they didn't really understand the science of it. So what they did was make this Jesus, and they argued and made him a figure that walked the earth. Now, the figure that they replaced him with was Heru, and that is that's where they get the word hero from. Now, there's always a hero in a movie, and that hero has now today become in y'all world is he became the white man. And you can look at the movies and see that, you know what I'm saying? They take you out your character and play the story of the savior over again, and they make him the white man. Now, we didn't ever looked at it like that. We were connected to the cosmic. We were really telling stories from a macro perspective on a micro level. So that's why we gave it these energies. We gave these energies a certain. We drenched them in symbol form, and that's where we got the hieroglyphs. So we didn't look at it literally, but you know, we use this to connect with deeper parts of our mind, and that's our subconscious mind and our DNA. And we were really just telling stories of the DNA to wake, and as we create, you know, we move on and transition through this life. So what they did was create Jesus Christ, who was a human figure, so that we had, so that sparked confusion, and we started to fall into their trick and started to believe that, you know, man was God, you know, and something outside of it was God. And the laws, if you followed the law, you know, you were gonna, you know, you were gonna be blessed, and you would follow the, you know, the commandments, you're gonna be blessed, and everything about just, you know, following, you know, doing good and getting and thinking something outside of you is gonna reward you. And that was never the case with us. That was never our spirituality. Now what that does is create destruction, because we give the ego more power than we do, you know, our spirit. So it's a real deep subject and a deep study. And you know, you want to get into these things just to understand and have a clear, thorough thought process on what you're in. You know, if you don't know this, if you don't know the history and the true history of what you're in, then what are you even in? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they give you this shit and tell you you're free, but do you really feel free? You know what I'm saying? Or you got to convince yourself, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they give you celebrities to make you, but we didn't see that pattern. They tear you down. You know what I'm saying? They tear you down with the stereotypes and whatever. Now, the one thing we're not going to do is make the white man our enemy, because he's not our enemy. He's just someone that took control of our mind and our sleep. You know what I'm saying? The mere fact that we were on a decline and someone can come in and manipulate us mean we had to be asleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, you only can be manipulated when you're in the sleep or you're in an unaware mode. And us, you know, being here so fucking long for billions and millions of years, and you know, alone we had to go into a recession. So, you know, this is things that Bobby Hemmett talks about. You know, this is things that the master teachers talk to us and give us information on. So, you know, when you wake yourself up, you start doing and by means of magic. And magic is just nothing but influencing your subconscious mind. And when you influence your subconscious mind, you influence your spirit. And your spirit starts expanding and contracting. And your spirit can start working on the astral planes and the astral realms and beyond. And you can do shit like spells and rituals, and you can fuck niggas up. You know what I'm saying? You can really fuck niggas up, you know, by means of just being in line with your purpose. You know, all your ancestors are looking out for you. Think about it. Like it's like having parents, right? Having parents, but spiritual parents. Just look at it as a spiritual metaphor. So you got parents, right? And say your parents was rich as hell. They was the army, not to be fucked with. They, you know, they knew all the ins and outs of Earth, all the civilizations. But you get out here and start acting like you're not part of the pack, you know, or you get out here showing your ass and not listening. You know, they gonna love you, but they gonna love you from afar. It ain't gonna be that love that you get when you following the family. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get that extra love when you get that. So that's why it's important to connect with the ancestors and, you know, connect with your roots and your root mind. That's what this is all about, connecting with your root mind, because that lifts you out of this cycle of humanity and this cycle of insanity that niggas is in. This same shit happening is insanity. You know what I'm saying? Is insanity. So for the ones who want to wake up and realize, oh, this shit is insane, and I'm just doing the same thing over and over, and it's just the same story over and over, you know what I'm saying? You want to wake up and realize what you in. You know, so back to the picture as far as him, Nipsey putting Osiris and Isis under his picture. We gotta, you know, in the story, Osiris got killed by his own brother. And like I said, these are nothing but cosmic stories told from a macro level, told on a micro level, and they will manifest as within, so without, as above, so below. So if that manifests like that, look at the story. He got killed by somebody from his own sect. You know what I'm saying? Who killed Osiris? Sect. You know what I'm saying? And that was his own brother. And what is Set the god of? The god of chaos, confusion, you know, disorder. You know, think about, you know, all our brothers that's out here. You know what I'm saying? Dude wasn't in his right mind. You know what I'm saying? He was jealous, and just as Set was jealous as Osiris. You know what I'm saying? Because Osiris had all the love. You know, so this is our story being played out. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing new. It's nothing new. It's more so a wake-up call. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he was a sacrifice. More so a wake-up call for people to stop acting the same. Stop giving the white man y'all power. Because every time, you know, somebody die, y'all want to make the white man y'all enemy. And they feed off that shit. You know what I'm saying? They feed off that shit. So they're not your enemy. You're your own enemy. You're your worst enemy. And you're your enemy by allowing yourself to be manipulated by their trick. You know what I'm saying? To realize that, to think you're in a place where you have fair chance, you know, in their game, you have fair chance and hope in their situation. You got, at the end of the day, Cito World and what my community do, we create our own situation. You know, we set the playing field. You know what I'm saying? You know, we play with us. Let me tell you a story. So one day, I was at my grandma's house, right? And my homie was outside, you know, chilling or whatever. So I go outside, you know, about to chop it up with him, and it was this girl and this guy outside of the car. Now this guy, they had their windows rolled down. So next thing you know, I'm walking up to the homie, and boom, I get hit by a motherfucking tennis ball, and all I hear is laughing. So you know I'm hot. So instantly, you know what I'm saying, I get the dude, get your, you know what I'm saying, get the woof in that dude. or whatever, and I'm a youngin, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little younger than I am now, you know. So I'm like, you know, and dude way taller than me, he like older and bigger too, and like in mass or whatever. So you know, whatever. So we you know, we going at it with each other or whatever. And he like, yeah, you woofing hard for a little nigga. So I'm looking at my guy like, man, look, man, we probably about to fight. So you gotta get your man. So my guy didn't do nothing. So, you know, he like, yeah, you think you real tough. You a little nigga, you real tough. And I just remember, like, subconsciously thinking like, man, I'm spiritually strong. Like, you know, I'm you know, I know myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? I know my spirit. You know, and you know, so eventually it broke up. So then I went into the crib or whatever, and so I went to the back porch and I hear a knock on the front door, and it's the girl from the driver's seat, and she, you know, asking, you know, y'all got some towels here, you know, and I'm like, damn, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So, you know, cause she sounds super worried. So I run outside or whatever, and this dude ass on the floor, he vomiting and shit, like damn near shaking, vomiting, unconscious. So I'm like, damn. So I go get dude and I take his hand and like, you know, I start like trying to help him up or whatever. Like, he good, you know, whatever. So he become conscious, and he see me and he like, oh hell no, dude, get away from me. You know what I'm saying? He like in shock, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying? That was the last time I seen dude, but I always remember that shit. That shit was crazy. So I was like, you know, from that point forward, you know, I was always thinking about that. Then, you know, once I got more into spirituality, and you know, they started revealing to me like, you know, we had your back. You know what I'm saying? We don't let nobody fuck with you, and like that's how I always been. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a protected nigga. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a divine mission, you know, and so that's what I'm saying. When you got the spirits behind your back, and you know, they got you. So yeah, so you got people just right there, but they not really getting into it. You know what I'm saying? And so you know, that's where your power lies. That's why you hear, you know, people in Africa doing voodoo. That's why they demonize all your shit. That's why they demonize spirits and demons and shit, when really this is all your stuff. This is all you were dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, due to this, which this civilization was built off of here, you know what I'm saying, they're just trying to do a false copy of your shit. You know what I'm saying? In the Lord dance form, you know what I'm saying? We're just stuck in their game. You know what I'm saying? So this is why all of the conscious community and all the Sito world should be doing a form of magic, should be doing a form of subconscious programming, because there's no limit to that. You know, there's no limit to that, and there's no limit to what your subconscious mind can do. There's no limit to what your spirit can do as the story unfolds. And as you get into what witchcraft was just is originally your shit, you know, all that shit allows you to tap in. All that shit, we've done all this shit. We mastered this realm. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's from singing, dancing, entertainment, but also just in magic and civilization building. They still to this day trying to copy what we doing. There's nothing been done higher than what we've done. So at the end of the day, what else is that to do but to transform and go to the next realm of reality, and what that reality is based off your Akasha and Akashic records. Now, if you never heard of the Akashic records before, that's pretty much, it's like a library. It's like a library in the spirit realm, and it has records of all the things that have been done, that's going to be done, past, present, future. And what this Akashic does is, when you die, basically, it's like your own state of being and your own records, your own internal records. So when you die, you know, you go to the next level. And when that next, whatever that state of being you die in, you know, you take that to the next realm of reality is. And so this is why, they want to be their enemy, be your enemy. They want you to call it an enemy because in the law of polarity and in the law of magnetism, whatever you say is your enemy or whatever you believe to be your enemy is the polar opposite. And so poles are two sides of the same thing. So they're not your enemy. The only enemy you have is yourself. The only enemy you have is yourself, is your lower nature. So that's the only thing you're supposed to face and transform. You know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, white people don't exist either because they came from black people. So we just are buying into the trick that's being played on us and the game that's being played on us and in the way they want us to, because honestly, it's just from a sick mind, and their origin is a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? But there's no history of Caucasians until just recent times, and like I said, we've been here billions of years. So you know what I'm saying? It's just getting real, you know what I'm saying? And it's getting real, you know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of energy waking up this planet. Now, wherever you want to go with that is up to you, you know what I'm saying? But, I do offer services for, my team, Cito World. And, I do consultations, just to get you started and get you trying to get a feel for where you at and how you can start waking up your mind. You know what I'm saying? We do readings on where you at, tarot readings on where you at and where you can go. You know what I'm saying? The ancestors is real with us. You know what I'm saying? I do ritual. I got a ritual for addiction, affliction, anything you're afflicted to. You know what I'm saying? We getting more. We building up the site. We building up the brand, and we going to the next level with it, man. Like it's that time. You know what I'm saying? It's that time, and ultimately, even in the Egyptian, even in the Egyptian stories and whatever, they were just studying the afterlife, and truly the afterlife is and the stories are a story of an alchemical process. It's not really like you gotta die and you gotta weigh your heart by Mayat, or you gotta weigh your heart by Anubis or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That shit is just really speaking to what's happening to you all the time. And that alchemical process, which you can learn through spiritual guidance and spiritual mentorship and just, your own spirit showing you the way, you know what I'm saying, you'll find that the afterlife can be achieved here. So your transition can be more easier. Doing the alchemical process manifests as within, so below. You get what I'm saying? So nothing can fuck with you. So, fuck the white man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the white people that are on the path, that know this and are humble to what the real information is, you know what I'm saying, they might have a shot, you know what I'm saying, because ultimately they came from the black woman, but everything comes from the black woman. Everything comes from Africa, you know what I'm saying. So, or the waters, or just, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying, but just check the origin and have enough compassion to be open to the ideas, you know what I'm saying, and not be like your ancestor Serapis and Ptolemy and Sotar, and make up shit and manipulate people just because you feel, you know what I'm saying, you feel left out, you know what I'm saying. So grow some nuts for real. So, and it's all coward shit, you know what I'm saying. But like I said, that shit manifests on us, you know what I'm saying. So when we get control of our mental and our mind, what we going through, then we can really understand where we at as individuals, you know what I'm saying. Because like I said, this shit not for everybody, you know what I'm saying. But those ones who it is for, it is for. You know what I'm saying? So, this is me and I'm wrapping it up. You feel me? You know, get this book, the historical origins of Christianity. Watch that interview. Get the book Mind Control 101. Yeah, and it's really just about waking up to what has a hold on your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you think you're free in that way. You think it's fair in that way, and they mind control you and the people around you to judge you if you don't. So, you know, wake up. You feel me? And this is, you know, we're gonna send our energy out to Nip and everybody that needs to see this video. And you know, that's the fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Seek the world. I'm out.
Rolling down Lake Drive, spiritual fights in my head. I battle with my mind, don't wanna mess up the vibe. Scared to say just what I wanna say, and hopes that I don't